This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about the Eagles, Julio Jones, Devontae Smith, we're going to talk about all of it, and eventually we got to talk about the Dolphins a little bit, right? But let's get straight into it. All right, so yeah, like I said, let's get straight into it. I want to talk about Jason Kelce a little bit. He appeared on WIP, and a lot of fans and a lot of the media in general is like, yo, why the Eagles didn't run the ball more in this game? But this is what Jason Kelce had to say about the run game.
I think, you know, I think that happens at times. I'm not gonna. It didn't happen this past week, and I think, I went up right after the game, and I think the coaches were like, we probably should have ran the ball a little bit more and stuff like that. And as a player though, it's hard to ask to run the ball more when it's not working. Like the pass game was actually pretty. It was doing pretty well. I mean, I know second half we started giving up some pressure on Jalen and started making it more difficult, but Jalen and the receivers, those guys were having a decent game outside of the turnovers. We were moving the ball through the air. It's hard to ask for the run game when you're averaging 1.6 yards a carry. I think when it's worked and they're not calling it, then it's frustrating. But hey, like the evidence is there. Let's do this more. But I think in a game like that, it's like you can't get you can't get frustrated when something isn't getting called that's not working. So I think it felt in the moment like it was.
All right, so I have to agree with Jason Kelce, man. Jason Kelce is right. When you averaging 1.6 yards per carry, you tend to go to the pass game. And the pass game was working in the first half, but it felt like we were straying away from the run game totally. The Jets picked that up and we lost the game. We lost the game. I believe the coaches should have still made the adjustments, but I could see in Jason Kelce, who was playing the game, his mindset like, yo, the pass game is working, continue this. But Jalen Hurts started struggling. The pressure started getting there, definitely after Lane Johnson went down. So we should adjust to Lane Johnson being down because now Jalen Hurts don't have the same time to wait for long developing routes. So the offensive coordinator and head coach should have definitely adjust the game because Jack Driscoll couldn't hold down his spot. Speaking of Lane Johnson, this is what Baldinger had to say about Lane Johnson and his injury update.
Bad out there, But I just worked out over at his barn just like an hour ago, so he's doing fine. He'll be ready for Miami. But like
as you see, it looked like Lane Johnson will play. And I will be very happy about that because the offense just flowed better with Lane Johnson playing. We are 13-23 without Lane Johnson. Now, my point still stand. We got to find a way to win without him at some point. 13-23 is just atrocious. I got to figure out what's Jalen Hurts' record without Lane Johnson in general. I'm pretty sure it's probably a negative record. But again, it's very, very good to hear that Lane Johnson is pushing to play or will play in Miami or Philadelphia. Miami's coming to us. But you get my point. It is good to hear that Lane Johnson will be playing possibly. And Julio Jones actually spoke to the media today. Looked like he's going to wear number 80. Shout out to Julio Jones. This is what Julio Jones had to say coming to Philadelphia and what he will bring.
Do you feel like you have left?
Have left. I just keep watching. I ain't gonna make no expectations. Just keep watching, and I can show you. And we'll revisit this question. All right. Don't get it twisted. I'm here to dominate, But I'm saying they have the guys are already here. They solidified and they're in their positions, right? So wherever they need me to go and be, I'm gonna do that at my best of my ability.
Look, he's still looking to dominate. Julio Jones at the age of 34 still looking to dominate. And I like to hear that for sure because a lot of people coming in like, yeah, Julio, he's going to be the veteran, this and that. We're not really expecting too much in the pass game, but Julio is Julio and he got a lot of respect. But he's like, hold on, I can still play. I'm not coming here just to, teach guys all day, which that comes with it. I'm summarizing like basically what he's saying. He's like, I'm still here to dominate. I'm still here to play ball at a high level. So shout out to Julio Jones, man. Still got that competitive nature, that competitive juices. And let's just get into the next topics, man. When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. All right, so the sun is out. You starting to see the clouds just a little bit. What do I mean the sun is out? You hear Slay on his podcast saying he had a great week, and basically like he's close to 100%. He's close to 100%, and he should be back very, very soon. Maybe sooner than we think. When I hear sooner than we think, I'm hearing that, yeah, he might play the next game. Then you hear Sidney Brown. He comes out and say, I'm 100%. I'm ready to go. He basically said, I could have played last game, but the doctors held him out. I'm like, okay, it sounds good. You hear Lane Johnson, Slay, Sidney Brown. The defense is coming back. And then that injury report. Yeah, the injury report came out. And it's always an unexpected name. Remember last week it was Jalen Carter. I believe Sidney Brown was at one point a surprise name, even Justin Evans. But the surprise name this time is Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith with a hamstring injury, and he did not participate. Lane Johnson did not participate, but at least we got from Baldinger that he's pushing to play. Reed Blankenship, we expect that. Bradley Roby, we know he's week to week. Jalen Carter, limited. Dallas Goedert, did not expect this, but he was limited, so more than likely he's going to play. Darius Slay was limited. Milton Williams, limited. Then you got Sidney Brown hamstring, full participation. Eli Ricks was full participation. And Marlon T was full participation. Devontae Smith, man, that one hurts. That one hurts because now I'm looking at the Julio Jones sounding like, oh, man, we might need you to be yourself, at least for this game, because Devontae Smith might miss this week. A lot of us are freaking out. I know it's like the half and half. Half of us is like, nah, don't freak out. He's going to push the play, or he's definitely going to play. I'm like, how do you know that? Anytime I seen a hamstring, the guys missed at least 2 to 3 weeks. Quez Watkins can't get over his hamstring. So why do you think Devontae Smith is just going to automatically play? And then not only that, the guy, Jeremy Chin, the guy we was going for, he's hurt. He has a significant injury. So we can't get Jeremy Chin. Budda Baker, the Arizona Cardinals look like they want to keep him. He's excited to come back, and it looked like Arizona's not going to let him go. Then you got Jeremy Chin. I think the last available option at this point, you better holler at the Broncos and try to get Justin Simmons or something. We definitely still need help at the safety position, even with Sidney Brown coming back. So now we're going to have a rookie and Terrell Edmonds possibly starting. I love Sidney Brown. I believe Sidney Brown will be a high caliber safety, but man, the Dolphins, well, we're going to need a speed against the Dolphins for sure. We definitely going to need a speed against the Dolphins for sure. And speaking of the Dolphins, like at some point we got to talk about the Dolphins, right? So I've been looking at Dolphins land, seeing what's going on with the Dolphins. The first thing I see is Jalen Ramsey, and okay, I've seen Jalen Ramsey won't play Sunday versus the Eagles, but I seen some clips of him, looking good. I'm like, oh man, he might push the play. We got guys that's sitting out. Then you got Jalen Ramsey might push the play, but then news came out that, nah, ain't happening. But he's on the fast track. I'm like, good thing for Jalen Ramsey, but we don't need him against the Eagles right now. Please, man. Please, please, please. I don't want Jalen Ramsey to play this game. I'm sorry. It sounds bad. You should always want an injured guy to come back as quick as they can. Just not this week. Just not this week. Please, not this week. So again, that's what it's looking like. And yeah, man. But shout out to Jalen Ramsey though, for real, man. I thought he wasn't gonna come back to December or at least a playoff push, but it looked like he might come back mid-season. So again, shout out to Jalen Ramsey. And I gotta talk about Tua just a little bit. Tua. Let's talk about him, man. Let's talk about what he's been doing this season. So 54% of Tua passes has gone over the middle. We know our weakness is the middle of the field and under 20 yards this season. When targeting that area, the middle, he completes 85% of his passes, 10.2 yards per average. I would like to see the Eagles play a lot of zone and try to take that away first to read over the middle. Shout out to him with that research. Yes, I'm afraid of that. I like the idea that Nakobe Dean is back because he can cover. Nicholas Merle, it's like mid-tier. He can cover. We know that's not Zach Cunningham's specialty, but Zach Cunningham can tackle for sure. So yes, I'm going into this game very worried about the middle of the field, especially you're not going to have one of your starting safeties. Well, you might as well say two because Justin Evans was a starting safety to start the season. So you're not going to have two starting safeties and you're going to have two backups. But again, Sidney Brown's speed, we will see. We will see how it works because I like Sidney Brown's speed matched up against the Dolphins. You know, he can chase a couple guys down. He probably can't chase Tyreek Hill down. That's okay. But some of them other guys, I think he can chase down for sure. But again, man, we got to find a way to slow Tua and these guys down. And the only way to me, that front four got to get to him. When I rewatched the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins game, right? One thing the Buffalo Bills did very, very well is rattle Tua, hitting him. And again, that rattled him. That caused mistakes. And Buffalo Bills was able to run with the game and really, really beat the Miami Dolphins. So I believe our front is better than the Buffalo Bills for sure. But, you know, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins got a rivalry. We really don't with the Miami Dolphins. Our front four has to get there. Like Josh Sweat, shout out to him, has the most pressures behind Micah Parsons. We need those pressures and sacks to come. Jalen Carter looking like the best defensive tackle in the game. We need them sacks. We need Tua making mistakes. Hassan Reddick, yes, our closer. He got to step up for sure. Jordan Davis, continue to do what you do. But we need our front four, I think, more than ever this game. More than ever. I'm actually a little afraid to even blitz them because if you blitz over the middle, you got Tyreek Hill going over the middle, that 2-3 yard pass could turn into 40-50 yards. So yeah, man, we're gonna definitely need our front four against these guys. That's the only way we win this game. I'm dead serious. That's the only way we win this game. Our front four has to get there. If our front four not getting there and Tua got time, it's over. I don't care if Slay back, Bradbury back. I don't care if we had the starting safeties back. I don't care if we had Avonte Maddox back. We're losing this game if our front four can't get there. Because that middle of the field is going to be wide open. And you leave Tyreek Hill a little time to get open. He's going to get open. He's definitely going to get open. He is a headache to deal with. Yes, a headache. So our front four got to get there. We're not dealing with Patrick Mahomes. We're dealing with Tua. I believe we could get there and rattle this dude. All right. But hey, man, what do you think? And how do you feel about the news today? Just want to give a little update of everything that happened today. I wanted to talk about the Miami Dolphins because I feel like we all stuck on the Jets. I'm like, today is Thursday. You know, we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the game is coming up soon. Wanted to talk about the Miami Dolphins just a little bit. Julio Jones, how do we feel about that? Even with Jason Kelce, the update on Lane Johnson. Even though he didn't practice today, I got a strong feeling Lane Johnson will play. This is Eagle Owl, man. I'm a